Happy Thursday, everybody. It is Chamber Check-in time, and today I have the pleasure of sharing Girls on the Run Treasure Valley with you all. And today I have Executive Director Tony Ramey. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, thanks for carving out some time with me today to help share Girls on the Run program and the impact that it has in the community. You and I had an awesome opportunity prior to going live, just kind of talk about running and the impact that it has and the confidence building. So I can't wait to hear the story and share the story. But first, before we talk about Girls on the Run, Treasure Valley, I get to thank our series sponsor. And Tony, it's Delta Dental of Idaho. And as you know, Delta Dental has been providing best-in-class dental insurance benefits. And they do it for the state of Idaho, and they've been doing it for over half a century. And with that, I'm going to share a fun factoid from their Tooth Truth series. Here we go.
Did you know that teeth are the hardest substance in the human body? I did.
Thank you, Delta Dental. Tony, again, thank you for carving out some time. Girls on the Run at Treasure Valley has been a member of the Chamber for a handful of years, and we just get this opportunity to share. So, and these Chamber check-ins are really designed to help share our member stories, their mission and vision, their products and services, and your nonprofit has a huge impact on the community. And we also love to learn about the people. So why don't we just start off with that, Tony? Tell us a little bit about your background that led you into working with Girls on the Run Treasure Valley.
Absolutely. Like many people who have been in the workforce for longer than a few years, there have been some twists and turns in my background. I started in technology. I have degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, and actually came to the Treasure Valley back in the early 90s with Hewlett Packard. So worked in printers and was in R&D and led a lab of engineers who were doing software and firmware for HP's printers for 8 or 10 years. And then when I had a couple of kids, I ended up taking a little time off. And when I came back into the workforce, I found that when I was not working, I had gotten involved in a number of nonprofits in our community, was heavily involved in the YMCA, and was a part of the Boise Schools Foundation board, and found that those engagements that I had were super satisfying to me because I really felt like they were making a tangible difference in the community that I had grown to love. So when I re-entered the workforce after my kids were back in school, I came back into the nonprofit sector and came back as the executive director of the downtown Boise YMCA for a few years. And yeah, so loved that. Great community, pillar of, kind of what makes downtown Boise tick. So many ways for people from different walks of life to cross paths, and learned about Girls on the Run when I was at the YMCA. And because of my background being a woman in what was in the early 90s, a very male-dominated tech industry, I have always valued programs that build confidence in girls and young women. There are so many talented females in science, technology, engineering, arts, whatever field women are drawn to. We really want to build them up and give them the confidence to know that they can succeed as well as anybody else. And they shouldn't self-select out of, a field that they're interested in, because they have gifts to give in almost every profession that is out there. So Girls on the Run does that for kids. And that's why I wanted to become involved.
I love it. And what a great story. And thanks for sharing a little bit about your background. I didn't recall that you had been the director for the local downtown Y, so that was news to me, and I always learn so many new things from these conversations.
Yeah.
Hey, Girls on the Run has been around for how long in the Valley?
So, Girls in the Run Treasure Valley started in 2001. So, this is our 22nd year of serving girls in Southwest Idaho.
Okay. And what's the 30,000-foot mission and vision of the organization?
Yeah, so we exist to inspire girls to become more joyful, more healthy, and more confident. And we do that via running some programs that serve girls in grades 3 through 8 after school. And there's a very intentional curriculum that we use with girls that gives them critical life skills that they can apply in school, in their families, in their relationships. And we use running as part of the curriculum because running is, well, first of all, it's important because it's an aspect of remaining physically healthy.
Absolutely.
Exercise is something that's important for all of us. But running is also a tool that we use to teach girls goal setting and teach them that something that might feel big and difficult when they first approach it. Many 8-year-olds have never done, more than running around the playground, and we tell them they're going to do a 5K at the end of the season, and some kids are a little intimidated by that. Yeah, but we also break it down into pieces. And, over the course of 10 weeks, they start small, but they set goals for themselves each week. And by the end of the season, they're ready and they know that they're going to be able to do it. We're not about teaching girls to become, the next great track and field athlete or the next great distance runner.
Yeah.
We're about giving them the ability to achieve their own goals. So for some kids, it's going to be achieving a particular time, whereas for other kids, it's going to be finishing. But either way, they've accomplished their own goal.
Oh, you and I were talking about that earlier. When you set a goal in running, let's say it's to the next lamp post and you do one run and you make it to the lamp post and then you can walk for a bit. And then that next
Yep.
time you do that run, you pass
Yeah.
that lamp post and you were like, oh, yeah, I just passed that. And what's my next goal? I think
Yeah.
that's so important with running. And I think what you said is relevant in everything is goal setting. And if people can learn how to set goals, small goals, make them achievable, that builds confidence.
Yeah. And many of the, kids that are signed up for our program, some are drawn to, the physical exercise aspect or running. Some kids are signed up because parents are looking for something, that is constructive for them to do in the after school hours. Many of them are not necessarily there because they want to run or have any desire to do that. And lucky for them, a lot of the program is about doing, these really amazing activities that teach them important skills, understanding their own gifts, understanding their own challenges. We give them tools to stand up for themselves and others. We give them language to talk about and identify their feelings and advocate for what they need, how to work together as a team productively, how to deal with conflict in a productive manner,
Yep.
how they can, make a tangible difference in their communities, even at the ages that they are. So we give them all of these great skills and new relationships. But some of the girls that come in not super excited about running end up getting excited about running because they do it and they find that there are positive aspects to that. Some of my favorite kids in the program are the ones that kind of finish their end of season 5K and they're like, I'm never running again. Because not every person is going to grow to love running, but they walk away knowing that they did it. And that is something that becomes incorporated into their self-image. They know that even if they don't ever want to do it again, they did something hard. And there's some aspect of their identity that now knows, hey, some part of me is an athlete. And they can take that and, take it into the future and have it inspire confidence in whatever else they come across that might be intimidating to them.
Any accomplishment that is made is put in the bank, right? It's put in the bank, and you got that in your toolbox to use for later.
You bet.
Hey, let's talk about the impact that Girls on the Run has made, and maybe share a couple of success stories that maybe in the past or recent.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories over the last 3 or 4 years that I've been involved in running programming. And we've had, over the last 3 or 4 years, different ways that we've actually implemented programs. We had, a really big program prior to the pandemic. And then all of a sudden it was, wow, okay, we can't do in-person programming. How are we going to continue serving kids through this? And luckily, we are now back bigger than we were prior to the pandemic. But one story that sticks with me is there was a third grade girl who had been having some trouble with bullying at her school. And the parent had, consulted with the teacher and the principal, and things had not really improved. So they ended up taking their daughter out of school and homeschooling her for the rest of her third grade year. And that was something that they didn't want to continue. They really wanted their daughter to be able to overcome kind of that situation. So while they were homeschooling her, they found Girls on the Run, and she didn't attend the school that the Girls on the Run team was at. She was being homeschooled, and you don't have to attend, the school where Girls on the Run meets. You can attend Girls on the Run anywhere. But she enrolled in Girls on the Run, and that experience of making some new friends, having some great adult coach mentors, learning some new skills and confidence to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to be treated that way, and standing up to negative behaviors. She, at the end of the season, told her mom that she was ready to go back to the school that she was at prior to being homeschooled. And in fourth grade, they re-enrolled her, and she went back and has been having a good experience since that point in time. So every child's story is different. Mm-hmm. We have kids that, come from families where, they have families that have enough resources, and they didn't have necessarily a difficult time during the pandemic, and, their family's healthy. And we have kids that are on the other side of the spectrum who either come from a home where they've experienced some trauma, or they are having some financial difficulties. Maybe they are unhoused. We reach kids in different ways, but all of the kids in our program, I think, gain empathy for the different life situations out there. We do have a charge for the program, but it's a sliding scale. So we give away about $50,000 worth of financial assistance each year. Wow. And of the almost 1,200 girls that went through Girls on the Run this year, over 500 of those girls received scholarships. That's so awesome. We have girls that come from, families that are well-resourced, interacting with girls that come from families that are really challenged resource-wise. And that integration and forming kind of cross-class relationships is really crucial as kids grow up to feel comfortable around others that are different from them.
I love it. And what I was thinking, hearing this story, is camaraderie is built, and friendships are made and sustained through Girls on the Run. You mentioned 1,200 athletes or 1,200 runners, and these events, or the program, is usually in the fall, right? It's usually
we do three.
Every school, correct, that has the program.
So we do 2 seasons. We have a 10-week season in the spring. We do a 10-week season in the fall. And then some summers, we do these intensive summer camps. But we have teams can range anywhere from 8 people to about 20 kids. And we are at this fall 36 different sites throughout the Treasure Valley. Each team is coached by anywhere from 2 to 5 volunteer coaches who go through our training program. Our training program is really important because it gives coaches can be anybody. Coaches can be parents. They can be community members that don't have kids themselves, who either are drawn to the mentorship aspect or potentially enjoy running. And then we have educators that are involved as coaches. And some of those people are really comfortable dealing with kids. Some have never done it before. So we do a lot of education for our coaches on how to form positive relationships with kids, how to know that when behaviors happen, maybe it's not a kid trying to be willfully disobedient. It could be because of, something you're experiencing at home or in school, and how to kind of tease that out, how to implement our program, and how to have fun with the kids. We find that most of our coaches really enjoy the experience. But yeah, we had 1,175, so almost 1,200 kids go through the program in 2022. And it just really reaches kids in, we're in 6 counties in Southwest Idaho. We're in Ada, Canyon, Gem, Elmore, Payette, and Washington counties. Urban schools, in Boise and Meridian, some of the suburban schools in, the West Valley, and then we're in rural schools too. So we're out in small communities like Notice and Emmett and Mountain Home. So trying to reach kids all over our community.
So I've had experience personally with Girls on the Run. My daughter was part of it when she was at Sage. And I think she fits in that category. Didn't really want to do it, but doing it actually was a big part of relationship building and goal setting. And that personal story was really impactful on her and me, and as well as the you mentioned the coaches and the curriculum that's involved with Girls on the Run. There's a process, there's a program. It's step by step, and the coaches that you were talking about, they're there because they care, and they're there because they want to make an impact. It isn't for them to for whatever personal reasons. It's really about the program. And I also was looking through your website today, Tony, and I saw the caliber of leadership that your board has. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about that? And then something new that I saw that you don't see on nonprofits websites is you have a young professionals board as well. Tell us about how that spawned. I'm asking too many questions in a row here.
No, we're good. We are fortunate to have some great leadership and support in both our board and our new young professionals board. We have 11 amazing board members that have supported us over the last, challenging period, coming through the pandemic, building up again after the pandemic. Women who have represented a variety of really successful companies in Boise. And there's always new opportunities coming there. So if anybody's interested, we would love to hear from you. And then our new young professional board is really exciting to me. I think it's really important for people who are new to the workforce and potentially in the early stages of their career to be able to network and give back to the community that they're working in. And gosh, we have gotten some really talented people coming in with some great new ideas. We just had a really successful event at Payette that our Young Professionals Board put on for us. So we're excited to see that grow into the future as well.
That's awesome. All right. We've got an event coming up. Why don't you tell us about the 5K celebration?
Sure. Yeah. So our 5K for our fall season is coming up on Saturday morning, November 12th. It's going to be happening at Kleiner Park in Meridian. And if anybody is interested in seeing an amazing, energetic celebration of just youth and energy and confidence, come on out and see the event, and you might be inspired to get involved in the future. We'd love to have you out there.
I love the procession of the different schools that in the starting blocks or in the starting gates, and that builds camaraderie within your own school as well. There's something really, really special about that, Tony.
Yeah. And really, kids, they're in their teams each week, but at the end, they come together and they see they're also part of this like bigger movement in the community. which I think is really empowering for them.
Okay, cool. Tony, thank you so much for your time today to help share Girls on the Run Treasure Valley with us.
Thanks
We
for the
had quite a
opportunity.
few viewers and some great comments. And I have your website here up on the screen, gotrtv.org. If there's any way that we can help, go check out the website. There's ways to donate, volunteer. And then if you have a kiddo that's interested in Girls on the Run, reach out to them as well.
Love it.
Any final closing things, Tony?
Girls on the Run is so much fun. That's the cheer they use at the end. And for those of us involved, not every day is 100% fun, but there are so many great reasons that we do this work. So thank you for the opportunity to share this with the community.
Absolutely. All my pleasure, Tony. Have a great weekend and good luck on your fall 5K. Thanks for what you're doing.